Yeah, now I'm continuing on about my discussion about the game theory, the Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind thing. I just wanted to fit it all into 10 minutes for the first one. Okay, basically, here's the thing. If each country acted unilaterally, okay, it would end up picking the protectionist outcome. Okay? So if you want to think of this, I had to write this down sort of analogously. If each government makes the best decision for itself, that unilateral best decision, each country on its own will choose to protect. It will choose protectionism. And in the movie, this is analogous to each of the guys acting independently. So therefore, this was analogous to each of them going after the blonde. Okay? Now let me explain how that is. So what we do is we say, let us assume that Japan has already decided to go with free trade. Okay? So now we're only looking at the first column. What should the United States do? Well, if the United States picks free trade, it only makes a profit of 10. If, on the other hand, the United States picks protectionism, it makes a profit of 20. So it is in the best interest of the United States to take protectionism. If, on the other hand, Japan acts unilaterally and picks protection, so now we're just looking at the second column, the right-hand column, what are the potential outcomes for the United States? Well, if it takes free trade, the profit's minus 10. If it takes protection, the profit's minus 5. So in other words, whatever Japan does, right, whether it protects or uses free trade, it is always in the best interest of the United States to act by itself and take protectionism. And this also works the other way around. Suppose the United States unilaterally decides to take free trade. So now looking at the first row. What's the best outcome for Japan? Well, if Japan takes free trade, it makes positive 10 profit. If on the other hand it takes protection, it makes positive 20 profit. So Japan, reacting to what the United States did unilaterally, would be better off by taking protection. Look at the bottom row, where the United States decides to take protection. What's in the best interest of Japan? How should it react? Well, if it takes free trade, it gets minus 10. It takes protection, minus 5. So in other words, if each country acts, so in other words, if one country makes a decision and the other one looks at, basically whatever the first country does, the second country making a decision that's in its own best interest will always take protectionism. Okay? And this is sort of like in the movie. If each of the guys makes a decision on their own, then it should be to each go for the blonde. That's their best situation. Yet, both governments are better off if neither protects, right? Together, both are better off if it's 10 and 10, right? If both take the free trade, no one protects, right? There's no protection in either country. This is analogous to the movie by saying nobody goes for the blonde. Remember, I was treating going for the blonde was like protection, right? That was the individual, pro-protection argument. So this is exactly like what the movie said. We're all better off if nobody uses no one goes for the protection, right? In other words, we all go for the free trade. So you see, what actually ends up happening is basically what conclusions can we come to? You see, if each country acts unilaterally, right, makes unilateral decisions, which in this case appears to be in its best interest, the protection, then both countries end up protecting. So we end up with what they call trade war outcome, which is the -5 and -5. So everyone ends up worse off. So what this is really showing is that if each country does, or by itself, what it looks like it's to its own best interest, the protection, the protect, everyone in the end ends up the -5 situation, which is analogous to the movie that, you know, nobody gets any girls. We all strike out. And so what basically the argument then is that instead of each country making what appears to be the best unilateral decision, the protection, we need to get both countries to make what's in the best interest of all of them. In other words, we need to have the free trade for both. This simplified sort of game theory construction here is basically an argument in favor for free trade. It's saying that, you know, free trade is the best outcome for both countries, and it's also saying that each individual, in this case each individual country, is better off by thinking about what's better for the collective, for the group. And so it's exactly the same kind of argument that was made in the movie.